Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is Boomba right here on your Boom Radio NG. My name is Dolupo, and I bid you a warm welcome to the bar today. Today, it promises to be a very interesting one. We're going to be talking about quite a number of things. Maybe it's the first time we're seeing this happen. Maybe not. We never know. Senator suing the Senate president. You don't have immunity, so it's about the law. We'll talk about that. The APC NEC meeting, the people that are there, the people that are not there, and this is, I think this is of the interview that former Cabinet governor had. You know, that's also quite interesting. We're going to be talking about that. Seems like there are a couple of people that are conspicuously absent at that meeting, so we're going to be talking about that as well. Also, before we leave that, we're also going to be talking about Nigeria's GDP. Nigeria's GDP. Nigeria's GDP, we're going to be talking about that as well. Looks like there's a growth there, even in the oil sector. They're talking about things that are also seems to be like we're on the up and up. So there are quite a number of things we're going to be talking about today. So sit back, relax, and enjoy today's show. My name is Dolupo, and I bid you a warm welcome to the bar today. And with me in the studio is Sola Rogers.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's the Boom Bar. Let go.
Okay, so according to the Nigeria Bureau of Statistics, who is the one that releases basically data around Nigeria's economy, has announced that the quarter 4 of 2024, Nigeria's GDP grew to about 3.48%. And also still interesting news that they're also forecasting that in 2025, Nigeria's GDP might rise to about 4.18%.
Interesting numbers, Abi. Interesting news coming out of Nigeria. Most of the things we've heard is doom and gloom and how the world was coming to an end somehow. But still, I feel that at times we're so used to bad news that when good news happens, we don't even know how to react. That's one. On the flip side, there's also the possibility that we are looking at the bottom line always, waiting for that final thing to trickle down to say, okay, you know what? How does this affect me in the immediate?
Yeah. You can't blame people for wanting that.
Yeah. And it might also be in tandem with some of the things we've heard in recent times. For instance, they talk about the decrease in the cost of food stuff, because a lot of people will tell you that it's always down to hunger.
Yeah, what people can afford.
Yeah, so you hear that a lot. How does this affect, this GDP? What exactly does it benefit me as a person and all of that? But again, for the critics, these are the things that they use, to say, oh, the country is not going well, things are not going well. But on the flip side now, it looks like it's working and we might just be onto something. You understand?
Maybe the federal government seems to be onto something. So earlier today, there are quite a number of numbers also that has been going around on that matter. Like I said, the CBN had said that there is a 4.17% GDP growth projection for 2025. However, there is also reports that Nigeria's oil refining sector has now seen its first quarterly growth in the last 5 years. The oil sector now officially has now they are now in the positive for the first time in 5 years, and they're saying that this is basically due to the sector said, according to the MBS, said that there's a real GDP growth of about 9.59%.
Okay.
So they said that this because of the refineries on stream now, and there is less. It's not completely off. Importation is not completely over, but because of the increase in production of,
which means, of course, that locally we're getting more produce,
exactly,
and we're spending less importing.
Exactly. So now they're saying that is the first time in 5 years that there's been a positive growth, and it has expanded to about 33.6%.
Okay, and we notice, the steady decline in the cost of PMS at the pumps. And not just PMS now, we're also talking about
I think it's already
diesel,
affecting diesel as well, yes.
So these things might add up at the end of the day, but Nigerians are in a hurry, and I don't blame us. I am one of them. That, it's been really hard. It's been hard, especially when you look back to your purchasing power and the things that your money could do as against what your money can do now.
Let me give you a very easy example. So yesterday afternoon, there's a face soap that I normally use. I remember very well. About a year ago, if not, that face soap was less than 1,000 naira, maybe 800, 1,000 naira. And of course, there's been a steady increase.
Less than 1,000.
Yes, there's been a steady increase. Almost every time I go and buy it, there's this.
It just keeps going up.
As of yesterday, this same soap, bar of soap, is now about 4,000 naira.
From this time last year, 800 naira.
Yeah, it's about 4,000 naira.
And this soap is imported?
I'm guessing so.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, so I get the point where, yes. But now, these are steady, so-called steady increase in things. Even the dollar, the rate at which things that we buy is increasing. That's not the rate at which dollar is exponentially increasing.
Nope.
So what are we doing?
And even when it goes down, it doesn't go down at that rate.
It doesn't even
affect. Doesn't reflect.
It doesn't reflect at all. So at the end of the day, what are we doing? What exactly are we doing to ourselves? But anyway, just wanted to put that out there. But I think that it's safe to say, maybe according to the numbers, and I think that even when it comes to food stuff, there is maybe not so much, but there is a bit of a decline in a bit of some food stuff. So basically, hopefully, we hope that these numbers in the nearest future actually affects everybody. Like everybody can really feel the impact of this at the end of the day. So I think
so it's hopefully going to go beyond all the rhetorics and all the numbers and all the 3.6 and 2.1.
Yeah, that's the whole.
The bottom line is that I know I'm
buying things and it has to be
across board.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of work for the regulatory bodies to do, the competitions commission, the body in charge of what's this thing again? Consumer protection.
Yeah,
FCCPC. And there's a whole lot of work for them to do now, because who's going to make these guys actually have a cost reflective system that shows that, okay, this is it. You told us the dollar was affecting your importation or the importation of some of the ingredients that you use to produce these things locally. But now that it's gone down, why won't it reflect?
I think that also, for that reason, I think one of the easiest things that they might be able to do is maybe now start mandating companies to put retail prices on things. With that way, maybe you might not even, but if you call something, if it's maybe 200 naira on the retail pack, and then you're now selling it to me for 250, I would question it. Do you understand? It's easier for me to question why you're selling at a price that is more expensive than what you're selling, than what is on it. I think that's one of the easiest things that they might be able to do. But since we're talking about FCCPC, since we went there, maybe we should actually continue, because there's actually a conversation around that. Now, the FCCPC, for people that do not know, that's the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, has now summoned Multi-Choice Nigeria. And it seems like Multi-Choice Nigeria seems to have a lot of issues with FCCPC a lot. However, there was a few days ago, there was a notification of an increase in price of the subscription saying that DSTV Premium that is 37,000 will go to as high as 44,500 naira. Compact Plus is 25,000 moves to 30,000, and they're saying that from March 1st this price difference would be effected. Now the FCCPC has now summoned MultiChoice to explain its proposed subscription price increase. Basically, come and explain why, or there's a reason why you are increasing things arbitrarily. And I think that this is a very interesting conversation. Why I said so is it's something that you see a lot, especially MultiChoice. They just wake up one day and shout out to people that are still using them though. It's okay. But they just wake up one day, no explanation, nothing, and then you just kaboom.
So the thing about it is that it's a two-way thing. We understand that creating content costs a lot of money, curating content and broadcasting costs a lot of money. We get that. But how come you can regulate the telecoms people and dictate to them, but you cannot regulate the media, especially the paid version of it? The larger part of the media is regulated based on its content. You get like the news quality, and if they step out of line, the NPC will hit them with the hammer and even fine them. But the set-top boxes, who's regulating them? Is it the same NPC? And if they are, how come there's no price control? And we need to be real with ourselves. There are options, legal options. A lot of people have found ways, to do things. And if your business does not evolve, it will die. Someone did a breakdown, and it's a breakdown that we've all done before. Rather than pay X amount on a certain brand, what MultiChoice or any other brand, there are some VODs, that's video on demand platforms, that you can actually subscribe to and still get one of the mobile packages of MultiChoice and put it together, and you spend
way less
and you still get more entertainment.
It is crazy. It is crazy.
It's just crazy how you go from 37 to 40 something thousand. The last time I used that premium service, it was 21,000 plus or 22,000 naira thereabout.
You have not used it in a while.
No, in 4 years now. It's 4 years. I've not paid for it in 4 years, and it's just there. And I heard the box is very expensive. Someone was telling me, you can sell that box. I'm like, yeah, maybe I should, because I'm not sure I will ever use that thing.
It is crazy, because even if it's, let's look at it, it's just TV at the end of the day. People, even a lot of people that can afford it. How many people, especially with, take for example in Lagos, how many times do you, I was talking to a few family members, and I'm like, okay, we're paying for this VOD, pay for that VOD, this VOD, that VOD, and realize that in a month, no, let me exaggerate, like in a week, you might not open it once. That's even the one that is even like easily, like you could carry about, is on your phone and all that. Now, how many people sit down and when we were growing up as young children, as teenagers, we always thought, why is it that you cannot turn on TV and watch film or watch what's it called, and they're with your parents, and in 10-15 minutes they're knocked off? Trust me, that stuff is happening right now. Like, it will take you 3-4 days to watch one whole movie because you're really tired and all. So how much of TV do you really get to watch? What are we doing? So in
people seeking entertainment, they must realize that the world has changed to the point where the bulk of the people who consume content do it on their mobile devices.
Yeah.
And so that's why the video on demand platforms are more attractive. And beyond that, that's why you find YouTube and Facebook,
everybody's
TikTok,
moving to that.
Instagram, they're all becoming almost the same thing.
Yeah.
When Instagram started, it was just about pictures, just pictures. Then they started adding reels when they saw the things that videos were doing on Twitter. And they started looking at, this is what Snapchat is doing. They also borrowed from it. Stories and everything.
So
if you look at it,
you have lives.
there's there's a convergence of these creative platforms now, and they're all becoming the same thing.
Same thing.
They're all becoming
even Twitter,
video
that seems to be
streaming platforms.
Everybody is now on video. Yeah,
you know?
everybody.
So for the mainstream media, they have also come on board. They have come there. You find all the majors within and outside Nigeria, they all have social media accounts.
What are you doing?
That they are streaming to, and they're getting paid for it. They're also chasing YouTube subscriptions and everything. And that's why even, at the moment we're small guys, but I know we'll be big soon. That we're competing for the same eyeballs, especially when you're in the same niche. You get? So if you look at all of these things, you're still expecting people to pay you thousands of naira on a system that is not necessarily mobile, and that they don't get maximum value for. The major selling point for this set-top boxes, that's why I didn't see good at any of them in Nigeria, is sports, especially the Premiership and football. And these days it's easier. There's a lot of ways that people are watching these things legally. In fact, I know someone that would rather go now out. He would rather go to a sports bar.
Yes. I know a lot of people that I know I've had that conversation.
Pick a game boring. Or two.
That's even boring watching it.
Sit down, buy a drink,
and then go out.
And the funny thing is, if he does that like every weekend when there's a match or every midweek, he still is not spending that much. Oh, how will he going to get his? He will get his news on his mobile device. He will watch. Everybody is begging them to stream. So it's interesting how this price increases are being done. And I know they're going to tell you how hard things are for them to keep up. I saw their statement. I feel for them. I actually honestly feel for them.
If it's not okay, you can go.
I feel for them.
It's not by force.
But
you can be going.
I'm not sure it's working.
My own is, if it's not working, go. It's not by force. They are not holding you to Nigeria.
And the funny thing is,
did they hold your placenta to Nigeria?
The number of Nigerian jobs that they cancelled in the last 4 years, I'm not sure a lot of people will miss these guys. That's the truth. They went from employing close to 1,000+ people to having just a few people working there now.
So, if, like my Yoruba people say, Shori be mobile, what's EB? Placenta. If they tie your placenta to Nigeria, if it's not working in Nigeria, carry your kangaroo and be going. Thank you, bye. It's okay. Anyway, moving on from that, and we're going to interesting news. Let's do a bit of politics. First things first, the president has hosted NEC meeting. I think the first APC NEC meeting for the year. Of course, the likes of the Senate president, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, their deputies, they're all seated governors, APC governors and all that. However, quite a number of people that people have noticed that were not there. The former president, Buhari, El-Rufai, kind of understandable that he's not there. Wouldn't he be funny? Or it won't be funny because probably he would have pulled off a wiki. What we does a PDP, yeah. So, but he wasn't there as well. They say that Amaechi was also not there. That's the former governor of Rivers State and the former minister of transportation. He too wasn't there. Most of these people are people that say that they're not on pretty good terms with the president. Most
of these people are people who, just like the president, want power, and they lost out, and they are already making moves to kick him out. I
saw an interview today, and I saw a report today. Interestingly, it's not something that I thought that I would have heard from the person that said it. It's a TV show, and the person was I won't say lamenting, but was really berating Nasir El-Rufai, and he was talking about how I know that you would like. I don't know why I didn't send you that video. Talking about how Nasir El-Rufai said he was an accidental public servant. No, that nothing. If you didn't want it, you could have said you didn't want it. When you were director of the BBE, if you didn't want it, you could have said you didn't want it. If you didn't want to be a minister under PDP, when he said that he was never going to go to the PDP, that the PDP literally made you a minister. It was under the PDP government that made you a minister. So don't make it seem like as if the PDP is that horrible that at least you made. If you did, that he claims to be a self-made man. If you were a self-made man, you would never have gotten. If you would never have agreed to being a minister. And then how El-Rufai had talked about how it was Buhari that pushed him to contest as a governor. That if you did not want to contest for governor, you would have sat in your house. It's something you wanted, and then now they did not pick you to be a minister. Can you move on? Are you the only one that they did not pick? Why are you making it seem like everything is all about? And truthfully, I think there were 3 people on that list that were not picked. So like, why are you making it seem like you should be a party person and suck it up and move on to the next thing?
What you meant to say, that there were 3 people that were picked, but they were screened out.
They were screened out, yes.
Just because those things, I know it's semantics, but they have a way of being used later to say, oh, it wasn't picked, it was picked. But the screening didn't work out the way he would have wanted it to. I don't think that Bola Tinubu would have picked him to humiliate him if he didn't need him on his. In fact, the funny thing is, it was arguably the only one that his ministry was clear
from the get. Yeah,
it was the only one that everybody knew he was going to the Ministry of Power. Even during the screening, the questions were all geared towards that until someone from one side of the room raised some questions and everything went south from there. Now, put that aside. The NEC meeting that we're talking about now is the ruling party at the national level. I've always had a problem with one thing, and you can always, explain it away. But I've always felt that, is it right for a political party to use the seat of government, which is Aso Rock, where the president lives and works? Is it right for them to use it for their political things? It doesn't sit well with me.
Where will the president go?
They can always rent a space. Doesn't he go out for events? The book launch, was it not somewhere in Abuja that they did it? Did he not go and come back safely?
But he's hosting it. He hosted it in his house.
Hold on. I like this. But let me respond while still trying to make my point. I feel that you should not have your partisan meetings in Aso Rock.
That is the camera.
Yeah,
at the moment.
You shouldn't have your partisan meetings in Aso Rock. That's how I feel. I feel that you should always have those things. If your party is not structured enough to have its own event center / office, go and rent, Ladi Kwali Hall, go and rent Sheraton, Musa Yadwa, any of those places in Abuja. You can afford it. That's the way I feel. It's the way I feel, and I feel strongly about it. And it happened a couple of times. Now, I don't know if Obasanjo and co were doing it, though. I didn't pay close attention then. But I noticed this happened under Buhari, and it didn't sit very well with me. But now, seeing that Tinubu has continued that thing, it still doesn't sit well with me. And this is my opinion.
Funny enough, I didn't even think about it, but now that you said it, I think that it's because, according to the report, it's the president that is hosting this. It's not the party. So
again, Dolupo, the president can host anywhere. The president can host anywhere. I just feel that it's funny though. But carry on. At least they said he's hosting, so it's fine. But I just feel it's very funny. Now, the major talking point for Nigerians, because nobody's talking about this venue scruples that I have.
Yeah.
So the things that Nigerians are talking about are the people that didn't come. I don't think that those names are still members of that party. But a bad precedent has been set by other people, so they are going to follow it when it comes to partisan politics.
Okay.
And the thing about it is that Echi wrote to me, Amaechi is definitely not an APC member. Everything that he has said from after the primaries has shown that much. You get a party man never does that. He is not a party man. He is not. Yes, a party man will be like, I'm not happy with these people, but you know what? The party has spoken.
So basically, that,
party is supreme.
That stuff that I was telling you about, that interview that I saw, or that show that I said I saw this morning, this was the crux of the matter, where this presenter was saying that you're not a party person. If you are really a party person, you can't say that APC has left you. It is what it is. It did not work. Everybody, it's when you go into a contest, if it did not work out, it did not work out. Can we move on?
A friend of mine who is a media person got a job offer to work with a minister. Thank God, I almost made a mistake. He got a job offer to work with a minister as his media aide, SSA Media. And he wasn't going to take it because he wanted to stay on his platform, and his platform is very big. And it was like, that day, right in front of his office, I'd gone there for something else, and me and him met in the car park, we're talking, and he's like, think about this thing I'm about to tell you. I think you should, no, I actually went to feature on the program, and he walked me into the car park, and I think you should think about it. This person has offered him this job, and that he thinks I would fit that bill. I didn't have to think twice. I took a deep breath. I quickly calculated, not bad. But I said, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. They didn't put a gun to my head. I had the option of accepting and going through the rigors of getting the job.
Yeah.
Or saying an outright no. El-Rufai had a million of that to say, I am not doing.
I'm not doing. But so don't make it seem like you didn't want to.
So when it doesn't go your way, again, you're the same person that said that you didn't really do anything for your party's presidential plans. And even in the same state, you people struggled when it came to House of Assembly, House of Reps, State of Assembly, House of Reps, and Senate. Yeah. And the facts are there. The numbers are there. And the numbers don't lie. The numbers are there.
Yeah.
If all of that has been said and done, your absence will not be felt. You will go out of your way to hurt your party. But the people at the helm of affairs, I don't think they are novices when it comes to politics. So 2027 is shaping out to be a very interesting time.
It's going to be interesting.
Very, very interesting.
We're already seeing the handwriting.
It's not everything that we can say, but the ones we can say, we have said it.
There was also a bit of rumors about a particular NNPP senator that was moving to the APC. And then all we just saw was that NNPP has now suspended this person.
So what that basically means is that there's no smoke without fire. It wasn't the only one that was suspended, him and some other people. And they suspended them for anti-party. In Nigerian political parlance or setting, when they say someone is doing anti-party, I'm trying to make it sound the way they would have pronounced it. The person is going to another party. That's anti-party. Do you understand? Sir. Like, look, it's always the precursor to the person's transfer. Now, the transfer window was not supposed to open so fast.
This one.
But 2027,
at this point.
2027, you know when they say Christmas came early?
Oh, it did.
2027 is not Christmas, but it has come very, very early. The electioneering process has already started.
It's crazy.
They're already aligning and realigning. They're forming coalitions. They are dropping names and letting you see things. And the funny thing is, the bulk of the people who are APC people, who are obviously not in APC anymore, but they are just there in name, not in spirit and body, are people who have no real political clout. I repeat, being former governors does not mean that they can actually shake the party like that.
Okay, makes sense. You know the one that even saddens me with someone like an El-Rufai is that the moves that his successor is moving towards APC, even in the state. if you really have that strong hold, then maybe more people should not be coming into the party.
The same person that you said you had retired from politics. The same person that you said so many things about. You now went to pay a condolence visit. Someone died though. Somebody's father. Somebody's grandfather died. You people went there. 11 minutes of campaign. Why are you there talking about this person who's sitting down here when it's this person whose picture that is on that side there? That is the crux. Is the crux of the matter.
Yeah, it's interesting the things that we're going to be seeing
So
in the
2027 has come early.
weeks,
Fellow
yes.
Nigerians, brace yourselves.
Brace yourselves, yeah. Anyway, before we leave that matter, the Senate yesterday, the news actually dropped that Senator Natasha Akpabio had sued the Senate president for defamation of character, saying that there were things that were said on his page by his aides that were written that said that she's just known for wearing makeup and transparent clothing. Why are you laughing? However, I saw a video today also of the Senate president clarifying a few things and talking about the powers that the Senate president has. In fact, the man also threw another jab again, saying that senators that
came through the
courts seem to have not gotten a lot of orientation, so they do not know how the House rules work, and it doesn't look like the booklet for the House rules were read by, invariably saying that she did not read the House rules, so she doesn't know, and it was mandating the National Assembly to reorientate people.
Okay, so it's Akpoti versus Akpabio, Natasha versus God's Will, and whatever hashtag you want to use or versus that you want to use. It's going to be a long drawn drama, except somebody brings a political solution to it, and where both of them will maybe meet and sheath their swords. But there's something. The House rules need to be looked into for certain aspects, especially when it comes to dressing for women. I think they need to at least loosen their grip on the way women can dress to some extent.
I think that House rules are really
one
very...
thing that I feel they need to look at. That's one. Now two. What if those things that they wrote on Facebook that she's angry about is true? What if she is the most dolled up person and they have videos to show? What if some of those things are transparent? What if? So there's no slander there. Do you understand? Like if you say, "Oh, you said my head is big," Alga, your head is big. So
I don't think that it's right to refer to someone like that.
Okay, I don't think it's right too. So don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying that what if they say, this person is always shaking,
even if
you are actually always shaking,
even if you claim that that's what happens, I don't think that it is in your place to say those things.
Okay, so now
I think that
phase two,
the Senate president, personally, I think the Senate president can add a bit more decorum to his speech.
Fine. Now let's take that advice that she has taken, and we now go to court and sue for
defamation.
No, it's not. That's not it. It's the figure 100 billion.
Yeah.
Then there's another amount, some 400 million, something for the legal fees. And I was like, this is your lawyer, don't show up. That is, look, now this kind of case, I want to do if I be lawyer. I just need to do like 4 in a year.
You know, the funny thing is that, like, let's
cases,
be
and
serious.
I'm moving to Ikogosi for like 3 months.
So let's be serious. Do I think that I personally think that the Senate president can be a little bit uncouth. I think that more than half of the men in the houses of assembly are very old misogynistic men, very backward.
I disagree with that, but
I
it's
think
our opinion.
that I also think that the house rules are very, what I call it, chauvinistic. I think that maybe those rules,
We said that before, right?
those rules can be, However, the truth is that at the moment, I think there are only 4 women in the in the not the National Assembly, sorry, in the Senate. So 4 out of 109. I don't think that is going to change anytime soon. I don't know. It might be wrong, but that number alone already tells you that they cannot. I'm not sure they can push the kind of change they really want with that kind of small number. However, 2 wrongs don't make it right. Number 1, he's the Senate president. They say there's something they say. I don't know who said it, or something they always say, especially in schools: obey before complain. You cannot accuse someone of doing something wrong, and then you are trying to correct the person while doing something wrong. I think that is the first place that Senator Natasha Akpabio went off. You cannot be asked to move, and you did not move. And the Senate president says the minute you are not on, and it's on the House rules, the minute you are not on the seat that is allocated to you, you are not going to be.
You will not be recognized.
You will not be recognized.
Which means that you cannot talk.
You cannot speak. You went ahead and you still kept on talking. Whether you don't like your seat or not, for whatever reason, you should have moved before you made that complaint. Whatever thing that happened between you and the Senate president before that is not, even if you want to address it, that is not the way to address it. I felt that it was a lot of tantrum throwing. So it did not even put her in a very good light. Now they said that there's gone to the ethics committee. Now you're literally suing your boss. I'm sorry. I know that.
Nah, it's not a boss.
That's pretty much a boss.
He didn't employ her. He's not a boss. The Nigerians who put her there are bosses.
Okay.
He's not a boss.
But he could suspend her.
But he's not a boss. The fact that someone can suspend you doesn't make the person your boss. Your supervisor might be able to suspend you. Your supervisor doesn't own the company.
So he's
not a boss.
So he's a supervisor.
He's a principal officer, but they are both senators.
Yeah,
so he's not a boss.
Okay, so maybe not the boss. Maybe it's her supervisor. There are things that your supervisor can do for you. Maybe
she can become his supervisor tomorrow.
When you get to that point.
So he's not a boss. Do you understand?
That point.
He's not a, do you get that structure?
Like I said, we're
okay, so carry on.
He a supervisor. We agree that he's a supervisor at the moment.
Okay.
Maybe I'm a bottom line kind of person. What do you think it's going to achieve? Maybe you have your way around it. It will go to court. But however, there's still the point where you did not do what you were asked to do. And the Senate president, who's your supervisor, had asked you to do, and he's backed by law.
So look at it this way, because I like looking at things from every possible perspective. She goes to court. She's not suing about being told to sit down or stand up. She's suing about, libel and defamation of character and everything, character assassination. Do you understand? They're 2 different things. One thing led to another, but she didn't go to court to say it doesn't have a right. She's not challenging the house rules. You get?
She basically
she's not
in the court. She's not challenging the house rules, but she flouted the house rules.
Until they decide. It looks like she did from what we saw on the videos, but until it's decided by the ethics committee, we will say that she stood her ground and fought for herself. And that's why some people are hailing her. However, she's gone to court for a different reason. And you were saying something about the man being uncouth, right?
Oh, yes, I think he is.
And
actually,
imagine if, and only if, they had stayed away from such pronouncements while this matter was being settled, she would have nothing to go to court on. She would not. She can't go to court to say, they told me to sit down. I cannot sit down. Because the house rules are clear. If she goes there, the judge will throw the case out like you don't have a case. But she was smart enough to look at what is it that they have done that I don't like, and this is it. Again, she might even win the case. But I'm not sure about the amount that they're asking for, though. But I heard that it's a strategy by people to get some money. They ask for something outrageous, and the judge cuts it down to say,
I hope that,
take this and take that.
that case sees the light of day and sees the end to it.
It just might. It might, because it's the judiciary and they're working hard, So, but if you take that and you now look at the scenario of what happened in the House, matter has been referred to the ethics committee. That's a serious matter, believe me. If she can win that aspect of it, she becomes the victor. But there's nowhere in that structure of that Senate that will say, go and sit down where you want to sit. Now, apparently, you can sit down anywhere you want. But when it comes to trying to be recognized to speak, you go to your allocated spot. I think she should have just done that. 2, just in case you find yourself in this kind of pickle next time, madam, you could have just chilled until the end of plenary. You see how many media people were there. Look at what happened to me today. And you just speak to the media. Of course, they will amplify your story.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll see what all that drama, where this is going to. It's obvious that this matter between the Senate President and Senator Natasha is not going anywhere anytime soon. Now, let's move on from that. Let's go to state assemblies. Interesting news coming from State House first. Enugu State Assembly is now saying that they're moving to regulate tenancy fees and landlord charges. Basically, they're working on a law to stop the arbitrary increase in rent fees.
So one of the aspects of that law that they're working on in Enugu that I am really happy about is the proposed scrapping of the so-called caution fee. I remember I was staying somewhere,
and those things you never get it back.
I think we had paid like 100 and something K for caution fee, and before we moved out, we used to paint the apartment like every year, and we're just done that. We had just done it. And I said to the man, I'm moving out. He said, okay. I said, come and inspect so I can leave your key. He said, no, I should move my things first. Like, he doesn't want to come and do stuff. I said, come and inspect. I'm the only one that's here. Come and inspect. He said, no, I shouldn't worry. He shall dodge me until I moved out. Then I called him 3 days after. I said, I would like to have my caution fee because I left the house better than I met it. He said, okay, that I should give him time to go and inspect, and they are going with some professional. And long story short, they checked the house, and he said that there are 2 holes on the wall where we had hung the TV, and that for that reason, it doesn't.
Oh, no, I'm sure you knew that the caution fee wasn't coming back. It was just...
So I said to him, do you remember that there were no mosquito nets in that house when I moved in? And
are you paying me for that?
And he said, when you do such things, you're supposed to tell the landlord so that the landlord will put the value into your rent. I said, what about the doors? What about the ceiling? What about this and that? So a lot of times the tenant is at the receiving end of all this draconian, things that landlords. But you see the real curse, and I mean curse like CURSE, are those so-called agents. Those guys.
If there's a way those people can be scrapped,
those guys will do anything
just to make
for
money.
A quick buck.
Exactly, it's crazy.
So if they scrap that thing by law, it will be nice. Again, I just don't know how they want to enforce something on people's private properties.
Yeah. One
of the things that shocked me the most was when Fashola's government actually put its foot down and said, don't pay more than 1 year rent. And guess what? Everybody started doing that 1 year thing. But guess what? 2 years is back now.
We're back to that.
2 years, 3 years, 4 years is back now.
Sad era now.
And the reason why agents want you to pay more is that it increases their own 10% agency fees. And of course, lawyers now, my people.
Everybody wants to collect their own 10%.
Times 4.
Interesting news. Now, talking about Lagos State. Lagos State Assembly workers, 3 of them have now been remanded as DSS actually sued them, saying that they got attacked last week when they went to the House of Assembly. It's
not a good look for those people who are arrested, because there's several videos of them resisting the
Yeah.
DSS, and with the DSS also saying that they were actually invited to keep the peace. Now that even makes it worse. For these guys. And there can be a political solution to these things if, the House steps in and,
Yeah, at the end of the day.
But I feel for them because I know they were just trying to, everybody was trying to.
It's interesting how there's really, the Lagos State Assembly, like past 1 week now, has been quiet. Okay, they're on recess, yeah? Okay, they're on recess.
Why would they be quiet?
Okay, that's true. They're actually on recess. Now, this story earlier, we're moving to court, where the story earlier was that there was supposed to be a judgment today, as looks like Mr. Emefiele has taken a cue from Nnamdi Kanu and talking about the judge, and that he didn't want this particular judge again. It was an Nnamdi Kanu thing. Apparently, Emefiele also said that, but the Special Offences Court in Lagos has now today stopped the hearing of the corruption allegation, has refused to stop it, saying that they were talking about that he didn't want the judge, that the judge should recuse himself. And then the court says they're going on with the conversation, and that they know, after a lot of investigation, that there is no judicial bias. And they're going on with it.
So it looks like it was delay tactics on Emefiele's part.
Yes, as according to last week, his lead counsel had asked Justice Oshodi to step down from the proceedings. Yeah. He had argued that by allowing the prosecution ask a leading question that the defense had previously objected to, the judge had made it impossible for the defense to fairly cross-examine the witness, and asked the judge to recuse himself from further hearings. Now, because they're not, and you're going on your game.
Interesting.
So it looks like the
courts
are not...
Any new forfeiture, financial forfeiture for Nigerians?
Not yet.
So it's just...
not yet.
You see, money is not involved.
They have just released the noose. Looks like the noose is still tight on Mr. Emefiele's neck. Any
Emefiele story that does not involve him releasing money to Nigeria, they sell like that.
Oh my God. You're just mean. You're just a mean fellow at the end of the day. Anyway, moving on from that quickly. Also, 16 more Chinese people have now been arraigned for alleged cyber terrorism in Lagos State.
Now wow, at this rate.
But I like the way that these people are being charged to court.
Becoming a weekly thing. It's Chinese, it's Thai, it's this and that. At the end of the day, are you sure that there are any real Nigerian Yahoo boys out there? Sure said no be all these our people from yonder. Because they use our ISPs and our VPN and everything to the wrong game.
At the end of the day, Abby. Anyway, it's interesting, but I like the fact that a lot of these things are happening, and that they're being charged to court. So anybody that wants to come to Nigeria, you think about it twice. Also, moving on from that quickly, we're almost out, but before we go, U.S. president is planning to sell a gold card. Because everybody, so they're saying that if you have, I think $5 million, if you've got $5 million, you get citizenship in the U.S. You come and invest $5 million in the U.S. I think it makes sense. Other countries do it, so why can't the U.S. do it?
They've been doing it in the U.S., but it's not this expensive. This one is VVIP.
If you have that kind of money, why not even not?
Okay.
Why not?
So the funny thing is, it's not like you don't want immigrants. You just want rich immigrants.
If it's you, girl.
A wise woman once said, "Money can buy you love." Her name is Tenny. Tenny came through with that beautiful song about money. I'd rather be crying in a Bentley and sipping on my NSC.
Don't worry.
So now, $5 million
just have money. You're good.
Can buy you citizenship
in the US.
Abroad.
Straight, no stress.
You don't even have to say anything to anybody.
You're
you
going
don't talk
to the
to
White
nobody.
House White House.
You know that kind of money, you just carry cash.
You know that I also saw a headline that I think that Trump is going to have his first cabinet meeting since he's been president, and Elon Musk is going to be there.
The president has to be there now.
Anyway, you will not put me in trouble. I've moved on.
Is Trump not going to be there?
Sudan seems to be mourning at the moment right now as a military train actually crashed into a residential area and 46 people have been confirmed dead.
Sad.
It's very sad. Also in Thailand, about a tour bus also crashed and at least 18 people also died from that. Shout out to South Korean people. This is the first time the birth rate has increased in the past 9 years.
So you people have been...
You're now doing it.
Y'all
now been doing it.
You
have increased it. Now, before we go, let's do a bit of sports.
Why are we quickly going?
Because we don't have a lot of time.
So
left.
we only go. We don't quickly go.
Anyway, moving on from that, Quadri Aruna has now moved on to second round of the ITTF Africa Cup. It's not something he's used to. That's his terrain. So it seems to be on that as well. Also, Flying Eagles are set to face Ivory Coast.
Yeah, they're playing 2 friendly games.
Yeah, they have landed also. And moving on from that, a bit of issues from there are quite a number of issues around the world actually. First things first, and Slot has now been officially given a 2-match ban.
Well,
for
it has to the story that he has to tell that in his first season he won the Premier League and he got a 2-match ban.
Are you Premier League? What are you if you don't get who are you?
11 points clear of your nearest opposition.
Who are you if you don't get a 2-match ban?
And the Slot is the man.
He is actually. Also, I know that Lionel Messi has also been fined. There was talks of him.
They said he put his hand on somebody.
Put his hand on the opponent.
He was just trying to sign an autograph.
Yeah.
But he forgot his pen.
As what?
As one of the best players in the world. If not the best.
Anyway, there's also been talks of a bit of injuries here and there for Nigerian players. William Troost-Ekong said that there's a muscle injury that he has. There's World Cup qualifiers in March. Let's know what we're doing now. Also, was it yesterday or 2 days ago that Osimhen played? He had to be substituted off. There's no perfect information yet, but also looks like he too might have been injured.
All right, it's interesting that those are stories that are coming up, but I think these guys, they've not been confirmed to be out, so fingers crossed, because we would like to have everybody
at this point
so that we can pick the very best of them.
Exactly, at this point. Before we go, this conversation, which doesn't look like it's going anywhere anytime soon, the conversation of AFCON being a major tournament, and of course we know that the issue started with it was
Jamie
Carragher and Mohamed Salah and all that. We know that, when it comes to maybe the UEFA, not the Nations Cup now, what's that one that they play? The Euros and the AFCON. It's literally about the same thing, yeah? If I'm correct.
It's supposed to be the same thing, yeah.
And all that. Other than the fact that, maybe it is planned better, and I think that the AFCON is getting there now, is getting to that point, or it looks better on TV.
Okay.
Why would anybody be downgraded because they won AFCON?
The question that Dolupo has answered, I don't like the answer that I'm about to give, but these are the facts here. I, first thing first, do not think that AFCON should be treated as such, but what about the players that pretend to be ill so that they don't go for AFCON? What about the players that pick, their clubs over the AFCON? It happened at the last one and the one before that. Let's put that aside. 2, CAF themselves created awards and now created awards for footballers based in Africa. What are they saying? If you have CAF awards, you don't hear the UEFA awards or the what's it called? British, I would say, oh, these are our players who are playing here. So the Jude Bellinghams of this world, they don't qualify, or we create another category for them. For people to respect you, you must first respect yourself and project yourself and present yourself the way you want it to be addressed, or you want to be addressed. So CAF has a lot of work to do. Is it the quality of the game? We have it. If it's the quality of the players, we have it. And I saw Joey Barton, one former player, saying a whole lot of things. I'm pointing out all the negative things that's happened during AFCON or around AFCON. And it's almost as if he didn't see what happened when the US hosted last year, their own region. As if he didn't see it. Copper was hosted in America.
Stadiums. It was a lot. And a lot of people are beginning to wonder if...
And they want to host World Cup.
World Cup, yeah.
And even in Europe, we've seen cases now. Referees doing all sorts of funny things. VAR working and not working. Yeah. Also, so, Joey Barton pointing out all the negatives does not take anything away from us, because we won't allow him. I feel that AFCON is the best that Africa has, and Africa must take it more serious. And it must start also from the players also. Right now, you see how they are treating your own thing. And one of the things that Karaga was pointing out, and I don't blame him, is that winning the AFCON does not add anything to you winning the Ballon d'Or.
Why not?
But, yeah, who are the people voting? Who owns the awards? The Ballon d'Or is owned by the French, more or less. They partnered with FIFA, then they fashioned FIFA and came back. But on the strength of winning AFCON, how many people have you seen say, oh, because he won AFCON, let's give him extra? So why are we even thinking that Ballon d'Or is the ultimate award?
Yeah.
Do you understand? If we make our own things more glamorous, and also tell them, okay, if they can nominate... Wait, how can a French newspaper or magazine be picking the best player in the world, and an African player African magazine cannot do the same?
Do the same thing. I agree with you.
These are the issues. You will stay and be wanting to win their awards. And their awards are skewed to favor them. To favor them. Look at the season that Osimhen did very well. You think he couldn't have gone better than the position they gave him? Look at Ademola Lookman and look at the position that they gave him. And look at other people that were ahead of them. Were they really better than them?
Yeah. But I think that...
So, until we
in the past
take our own thing serious.
Last 1-2 competitions, I think AFCON is getting better.
Again, I said, I'm not going to fault the quality of our game. You cannot fault the... Look, Nigeria was playing South Africa, and this is not a good start, but people actually died because of the tension. Not because... It was the quality of the game. People saw how things were going.
It was beautiful football.
Cote d'Ivoire, I think they did a great job. You understand? We need to sit down as Africans and build our own and create our own Ballon d'Or, call it our own name, because this CAF awards, you are only making it for Africa. So also do your own version and say you are nominating their own best players too. This is the CAF awards for best European player, because our players are going to play there. What does that tell you? When are we developing our own league so that our players don't even go there? And what's chasing them? It's money now. It's money.
Yeah.
And the glamour of Champions League. So make your own glamorous. Build your own too.
Exactly. Anyway, on that note, that is all we have to take today on The Bar. Thank you for listening. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back again tomorrow at 3 p.m. West African time to give you another wonderful edition of The Bar. Have a beautiful, beautiful day ahead.
Peace.